killed Michael Brown he's become a household name now, but it's complicated matters for another man named Darren Wilson, who also happens to be a police officer. And he joins me now. Officer Wilson is, as you can see, African-American here. He's been in law enforcement for 18 years, works for the police force in St. Louis. He's also president of the Ethical Society of Police. It's good to have you with us this morning.
Good morning.
First, when that name was announced, what did that mean for you? What did it mean for your family?
Well, it was concerned. Definitely a lot of calls came in. The family was concerned about the entire family's safety, only because we know that there's a lot of tension.
And you had to leave your house for a period.
I did. We elected to leave for a while.
Things have calmed down now?
Yeah.
Okay. So from what you know now, I'll start with the big question. What you know now, and there are still lots of facts that still have to be gathered. Can you make a decision or a judgment that did the other Officer Wilson, did he make, was it a legitimate use of deadly force?
That's a question that right now no one will know. The police department and now the FBI, whoever it is investigating it, has to let that process carry out. What we're more so interested in, though, is the after action to the incident, and that is that any police department or any elected official, city official, government official has a responsibility to the community. So in law enforcement, we understand that things are going to happen. And that could be anything from issuing a ticket, making an arrest, or even using a degree of force.
Yeah.
However, oftentimes when something in law enforcement has happened, your members of the community have questions. What you cannot do is disregard that community. So it appears as if a lot of the tension has been a result of the disregard, the lack of information that the community got following that, and they wanted to be reassured that a proper and thorough investigation would ensue or follow, and they just were not getting that. So from there is where you see a lot of the protesting, and then of course the unfortunate incidents of the rioting and the other acts of violence have occurred.
The question now is, can this be reconciled? Do you think there can be some reconciliation between the Ferguson community and the Ferguson Police Department?
It can be. It'll be a process. We're not sure exactly how long that process will be. The Ethical Society of Police has been in touch with some of the government agencies and other organizations to see what we can do to alleviate some of those tensions and ensure that there will be a balance within that police, not only Ferguson Police Department, but police departments across the country. With that being said, that's not going to be an overnight process, but a couple of things that we're hopeful for is that if the community knows that they have some ambassadors, they have some supporters on their side from the official side, that they'll begin to see more confidence that things are developing in a positive aspect, progressively, that will balance the police department in this local community and also throughout the region.
You know, you talk about balance. How does it happen? I mean, you've got a 67% black community. You've got 3 of 53 officers or members of this force who are black. How does that happen, and how does it change? How do you change it now?
That's a good question. The short answer is, when you look at it, is discrimination. Is what we alluded to, has to be discrimination, because there's been many instances when the Ethical Society of Police alone, and what I'm learning now is that police departments across the country, I recently attended the National Black Police Association conference, have been conducting lots of workshops. We have a lot of interested members of the community of society, and we're saying black, with college degrees, a strong interest in law enforcement, but for whatever reason, they're just not getting hired at the rate that white interested citizens are getting hired at. We understand that there is certain criteria that must be met, or qualifications that you have to have in order to be a police officer. But with that being said, there's also, so that's an objective component, but you also have many subjective components, and it appears as if a lot of the subjective components is what's disqualifying a lot of the qualified black applicants.
All right. Well, Sergeant Darren Wilson, And you know, having covered this story for 2 weeks now, I can only imagine the response when this was announced, and you're having that name and having to move your family. We're glad everything worked out with you. I thank you for your perspective this morning.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for your support.
Certainly, certainly. Christy, back to you.